What's up, guys?
Hey,
How's it
Naveen,
going?
what's going on, man?
Well,
Guys.
I got some exciting news for you guys. I'm thrilled to announce our partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert, opening up an incredible opportunity for you to join some of our favorite sportsbooks to get the best odds and new user offers. Head over to our dedicated page at signupexpert.com/LockyTopSports to explore a selection of sportsbooks tailored to your region, each with unique offerings. If you're ready to take your sports betting to the next level and show some love for our brand, I highly recommend signing up for your next sportsbook through our Sign Up Expert link. You can easily find it in the description of this video and on the screen in the QR code. Signupexpert.com/LockyTopSports. Just to go over our overall record, we're 70-49 right now. We went 1-1 last week. This week, we're doing something unusual, and we don't have a pick just because there's really nothing out there, and we don't want to force our bets. Part of being a responsible gambler is knowing when to not bet. Huge skill. Wish I learned earlier in my life.
Isn't there a good old country song about knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, Naveen?
Exactly. Know when to walk away, know when to run. This is one of those weeks to run to the couch and not bet. So, not going to force anything. We're at 70-49, and we're going to keep that record for at least another week.
Yeah, one of the greatest coaches in basketball, Phil Jackson, once had a theory that if a team reaches 40 wins before 20 losses, they're legit. Well, in gambling community, a great philosopher, Naveen Ramachandran, once told me that if a person reaches 70 wins before 50 losses, that person can be thought as of a great gambler. So here we are, 70 wins before 50 losses. I just made that shit up, but hey, guys, we're keeping this record for one more week, so stay tuned.
Yeah. So I mean, stats speak for themselves. So I second that. I think the guy that you mentioned there, Naveen, I think he's a mystic of our era. He probably could foresee that as a strong indicator of things to come as we continue this show and kind of work our way through the dog days of summer. I know it's been really hot here in North Carolina. We've been finally getting some rain. So trying to beat the heat and survive the dog days. The rains come. So hopefully this means, with the sports calendar starting to heat back up a little bit, we'll get some relief from, the boredom we've been stuck in for the last couple of weeks. So I know that the soccer was fun. We just saw SEC Media Days this past week, and we'll talk about that later in the show. But I think our one of our lead stories here is some interesting things that kind of came out of SEC Media Days. And hey, just like it says, may I have your attention, please? Will the real UT please stand up? And not to steal a phrase from, one of my favorite rappers of all time, Eminem. Yeah, we stood up, and we didn't even really have to be told to stand up. The SEC stood up for us. They went ahead and they announced the I think the seedings or the players, the all SEC players, first team and second team. And when they released it, and with the team names, the abbreviation, they put this debate, I think, to rest, where it was Cooper Mays was first team all SEC, and they listed it as UT. And obviously all the other Texas players that were listed on there were TEX. I think, as you affectionately said before we started the show, as in Tex-Mex, Andrew. So, the debate has kind of been put to rest. My boy Cooper Mays, he was at SEC Media Days, and he was he was also asked about, who is the real UT, and I think he said it best, and I've said this many times amongst us, and probably even on the show if you go back and you look. But without Tennessee, there would be no Texas, and UT was a school before Texas was a state. Now I know Naveen's first cousin, Big Texas. He might have some heartburn about that. Naveen, have you been able to get in contact? We've not seen Big Texas probably in 2 or 3 months on the show, but I'd like to get him back on here as a guest pretty soon. Maybe we could revisit this topic when he's on. But have you talked to him since the declaration from the league office was made about who the real UT was?
He's pretty heated, man. He said he's going to be back for at least by week one of college football. He wants to come back for one of those first Texas games, maybe Michigan, Texas, something like that. But I think he's generally disgusted by it. He doesn't like this shade of orange. He doesn't like that you guys took the UT from him. Down there, I don't know if it's people are as concerned with this UT labeling, but I think he is. So he lost a bit of pride.
Well, what else Tennessee also took away from Texas is not only the UT acronym, but also a chance that they could have been called something else. Like they could have been called Universidad Nacional de Mexico, and we saved their ass from that. So I think that debate is very, very much settled. Hey, they could have been the premier university in Mexico. They had the chance, but unfortunately, David Crockett and the brave volunteers had to come save the day. So
remember the Alamo.
Yeah, I saw a pretty good tweet from a disgruntled A&M fan when we were in the College World Series. He said, "What the fuck is a vol?" And very sharp Tennessee fan said, "It's what's keeping your university. That's what's naming your university Texas A&M versus Mexico A&M."
True story, bro. True story.
Hey, that's right.
So that's
there might be a tad bit of revisionist history going on there, but nonetheless, I agree with that comment that you saw. But with that being said, I feel bad for Big Texas. I know that was a big point of pride for him. But another thing that I really do feel bad for Big Texas, but very, very happy about myself is the fact that the SEC came out and clearly put to bed the whole hook or the horns down, right? So that will not be a penalty because I guess in the SEC we're not pussies. So if we want to taunt Texas players with the horns down, there's not going to be a 15-yard penalty on opposing.
We gotta wait till the games, man. It's we never know. You watch Tennessee. Well, thankfully we're not playing them this year, but I would not be surprised if we get into some deep situations and then the refs start throwing those yellow flags with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, so I've seen a couple times where Tennessee got some phantom personal foul calls for doing the Gator chomp. You remember that, Andrew?
Yeah.
I think it was that 2017 game that we went down there. And you had
I actually erased that game from my memory now, so I don't remember what went down. But yes, I believe what you're saying.
Yeah, you had John Kelly, score.
That's right. After
score the touchdown and then go into the end zone and just chomp on him real hard, and then he didn't even do the throat slash, and they hit him with a quick 15 on that one, and he was doing it to the fans.
Yep.
He wasn't even doing it to opposing players.
That's
but
right.
Ben Hill Griffin's going to Ben Hill Griffin, man. So it's all nice and it's all nice and fun to hear the conference say that they're not going to penalize the horns down, but Texas and Oklahoma, they play each other this year, correct?
They play every year.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So that didn't just go away because they joined the conference. Right. So, I would be I will be very locked in to see what happens when the first guy from Oklahoma horns down a Texas player in the middle of a game after a big play and see what comes of it. But yeah, interesting stuff. Coming out of SEC Media Days. And I think one of the biggest interesting stories that we saw was, I think the most spicy one at least, was between Paul Feinbaum and Lane Kiffin. I thought about drumming up the video, but I think it's too long. But to get to the gist of it was, Lane Kiffin just essentially called a shot and put Paul Feinbaum in his place. Naveen, we played that video a little bit earlier. What was your takeaways from what Lane had to say to Paul?
I think for the most part, he was just saying, he was questioning Paul's worth. Like, what are you good at predicting? If you said, he was wrong on a couple things, he was wrong on Miley Cyrus, he was wrong on a
Saban.
bunch of Saban calling it quits at that time. So I don't know. I think it's a legitimate question, right? Like, someone with so much influence, what kind of incentives do they have, like calling for people's jobs and things of that sort? It doesn't really help the sport, does it not? Those are the kind of questions that I thought about when I saw.
Who do you think really gives Paul Feinbaum his influence?
I think it's years in the game. I think I looked it up. He has, like, over the course of his time, he's had like 20 million listeners, right? So
okay,
it's just like an app, right? How many active users or how many users do you have, right? And he's got people that have been calling into that show since basically I've been alive. I think it started in 1992. I'm born in 1991, so it's 30 years of just shit talking and grinding to get an audience that builds the influence and that gets you paid.
Fair enough.
It's the unique demographics, right? Like your average influencer nowadays, isn't reaching your 65, 70-year-old dude down in Mississippi or Alabama, but they're watching the Paul Feinbaum show and calling in and say, "Hey, Paul, ain't playing nobody." Those are the unique reach.
Guilty as charged. I've definitely called into the Paul Feinbaum show myself. I've actually gotten on a few times, and he's had some interesting guests over time. I think his show, like, time frame doesn't necessarily mesh up well with my work life and my schedule as far as being a dad and all that stuff. So being able to dedicate some time to really be a consistent listener of his show is kind of faded over time. But there was some moments throughout my sports fanhood that I did subscribe to Paul. But I have noticed, a little bit over the last 4 or 5 years, like, it's just hard for me to watch and listen to him. I just feel like he's more cynical than he is anything worth sitting down and listening to him for 3 or 4 hours. So that's kind of where I'm like, has his worth kind of expired to the majority of the SEC football fan base? I'll pose that question to you, Andrew. You think, obviously you're still getting paid a lot of money, so it must resonate somewhere, but do you think it really moves the pulse for people our age?
No, it definitely does not. It does not. And I would argue our listeners to listen to our show over Paul. If you got time to waste on Paul, just listen to us talk. We're way more entertaining.
And we'll make you money.
Gonna help you make money.
That's right.
70 and 49. Hey, and if you want to join the streak, join the wagon now. Signupexpert.com/LockyTopSports, or the zoom in on the square over here to my right. But that being said, Paul clearly has some kind of demographics, like ESPN. One thing about ESPN is that people always talk a lot of shit about ESPN. They say, oh, the quality of the shows have gone down from the original Sports Center to the, First Take to the Horns and all of those, Mike and Mike, great shows. But guess what? ESPN continues, Disney continues. It's like an inevitable Patrick Mahomes type of thing where, the hate keeps rolling, but ESPN keeps raking in money. And look, Paul, clearly like ESPN executives aren't dumb. They're monitoring the analytics, they're monitoring the viewerships, the engagement. It's just like Stephen A. Smith. People say Stephen A. Wrong all the time. Like, what's he good for? Why do you listen to this guy? Why do you even react to it? But he knows how to work the media. He knows how to get the people pissed off, asking the questions. And Paul's no different, right? Stephen A. Reportedly just negotiated a new contract, $18 million a year. And Paul, I think, is so that's a new fresh figure, I think, as of last month. So Stephen A., the biggest paid, obviously, I would argue his influence is bigger than Paul's. But that being said, it's not like Paul doesn't reach. Like he has that unique demographics. Hey, $5 million is $5 million, and I can't shed on him for predicting that Saban was done, or Lane was worth firing, or Miley was done. I outed out all three of them at the time. Would have been true. I guess like the Saban part was more of a hope than a prediction. Like I was hoping Saban would have been done, but he had that run for another 10 years, which is unfortunate. But other than that, I mean, sometimes you say shit and you're right, sometimes you're wrong. I mean, we
do that all the time.
Yeah, we're only right 57% of the time. So
that's right. So to capstone SEC Media Days here, I do want to talk about Josh Heupel. He didn't give anything worth of note as far as like to report on, and I think there's some good that I can really appreciate from just no needle moving Josh Heupel. He just goes and he does coach speak and just talks about, we're ready, we're locked in for summer camp, we're ready to get the team together, focus on the right things, control the controllables, et cetera, coach speak after coach speak, right? And I found it very interesting, the individuals that he brought with him, Omari Thomas, Cooper Mays, and Keenan Peely, right? Those three right there, all in themselves of being his pick to come to SEC Media Days with him. I think that also kind of goes into this narrative of him having absolutely no drama, no nothing nothing to talk about when it is talking season. Because if Tennessee is coached by Josh Ricker instead of Josh Heupel, y'all know who I'm taking with me. I'm taking the $8 million man. I'm taking Nico down there. So when you kind of relook Tennessee's week down there at SEC Media Days, Naveen, what do you think kind of went into Josh's decision on not taking Nico with him and taking those three guys?
I'm going to answer a question with a question. Do you think that he's sort of sheltering Nico from the rest of the press? Is he like taking him under his wing like kid gloves for this season? Or what do you think the approach is there?
Well, here's the thing for me. I don't think you handle an $8 million paid athlete with kids' gloves. If you're paying him that much money, obviously the tools athletically and everything else, because, I mean, he did bring that up. He did say that that Nico was on pace. He had a full faith and confidence of him leading the team at quarterback this year, and that he was really excited about where he was going and the maturation process, everything going into, all the experience that he got from sitting behind Joe Milton last year has definitely, proven to be worth the wait, so to speak. But to that point, Andrew, it looked like you wanted to chime in there, man. I think for me, you're paying him that much. You're you're wanting him to be the leader of the team, go let him lead, man. Go let him down there and meet with the media, because let me tell you, there's not going to be kids' gloves if he fucking loses to Florida, is there, Naveen?
No. Burn the gloves.
burn the whole thing, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? So there's no place or no room for the weak or faint-hearted in SEC football. So Andrew, go ahead and chime in, man. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think, to Naveen's point, the kids' gloves are on? I mean, he's in year 2, man. This is almost 2.5, because he came in early. I don't think it's the time for kids' gloves.
For me, I would want to hear what he has to say, but instead of wasting a day dealing with the dumbass media, like, why not let him practice one more day? Would be my thought process. Like, also, like, I don't think like it's protecting from the media, but rather, like, I don't know, like you hear about the whole like bulletin board material type of things that coaches do, right? Like how like coaches like Harbaugh or Kirby Smart would or even Nick Saban would say, oh, look at them like saying shit, talking shit, or like ranking us at number 3 instead of number 1, blah blah blah, and I perhaps like Nico going there and talking shit could have got the other players to target him. Like, I don't know what the logic is, but I agree with you. Bring the kid, let him talk, and that would have been more fun. Like, if he came out and said like, hey, man, I'm ready to steamroll the SEC, and I think we would all loved it. But to shit talk, there's got to be some performance behind it, backing that trash talk up. And unfortunately, Nico hasn't earned that in the SEC. So, I don't have a problem with him skipping it this year. Maybe he can come out and start talking next year.
Hey, man, Nico strikes me as the guy that's going to let his playing do the talking for him. I mean, he doesn't have to do much. I mean, but still, I think for his brand, for the program, I mean, if you're investing that much into an individual, at the end of the day,
you want some media exposure. Yeah,
I think the SEC media days are less about the players and more about the fans, right? Because I mean, look at us. We're frothing at the mouth, just saying, damn it, just give us something to talk about. We have a damn podcast. We want to have something to talk about, even though it might not be much. Just the little things like that is what keeps us hanging on and prepares us as we go into the football season. So
there is one thing to talk about, for the football season.
Exactly.
Josh.
You beat me to it, man. And that was that I'm telling you, that is the fix to my vices right now. So yeah, I did the pre-order for EA Sports College Football 2025. And yes, I did not own a PS5. And no, I'm not ashamed to say that I had to go and drop some not serious coin, but maybe mid-level coin on a new gaming console there. So shout out to Sony for their sneaky marketing campaign that they've been running on all of us college football fans, because I know they're probably going to drop PS6 in like 3 years. So we're not going to have the longevity of the PS5, but shout out to Sony, man. They really slow rolled that. They played it right, because this game was supposed to come out, I think, last year or the year before that, and they've punted it down the road. But anyway, all that aside, game is great. Graphics are great. The dynasty mode with the coach, great. Getting to pick a program, like there's so many different options. We've seen all the stuff come out on all the Instagram reels or TikToks. People are loving the game. The gameplay is awesome. The only thing that I have to critique, I think, is they've made the offense so great on the game, but they've made it almost impossible to stop anybody on defense. So, even if you have a good defensive team, it's quite the challenge. Or maybe I just suck. But I will tell you from my own personal perspective, the offensive gameplay is phenomenal. Defense, EA do an update, help the defensive side of the ball out. But everything else is great, man. I mean, I can't say how great the game looks, how it feels, and the different types of games within the games, or the the storylines, or creating your own program, whatever. We've all kind of come to know and love through Madden, but they've also done some cool things where you can create your player and then go through the whole EA family of college football, and then you can use that same player to get drafted in the NFL. So pretty cool. Have you guys had a chance to get on the sticks, Naveen? Have you had an opportunity to play anybody, or no, or have any of your coworkers brought it up to you?
Yeah, some of my coworkers have. I do have 2 comments from the internet. They're saying that the 3-3-5 or 3-3 nickel is the meta right now. So if you're trying to play defense, 3-3-5.
3-3-5 is the D to use, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
You want to use, I think, the Georgia playbook, 3-3-5, and then the Charlotte offensive playbook. They're saying
Charlotte offense.
They're saying those are the cracked metas right now. So if you're trying to play to win, keep those in mind. And I'm also seeing that these young kids on TikToks, they're finding glitches to make their players 99 in Road to Glory. And I was pissed off about that because it's not fucking teleport to glory, it's Road to Glory, right? It's a long period of time where you got to build and grind your player. If you're trying to get all these skill points very, very early in the game, you're just cheating, right?
Yeah.
Man.
I think they're a product of their generation, though, Naveen.
They're trying to speed run this game and talk shit to their friends. I get it. They're trying to have 99 overall everything, but
just trying to smash everybody online with their juiced
I don't know if
ratings.
I'm with that.
That's what happens when a generation watches grows up watching Kevin Durant and the easy road to victory. It just becomes soft. Sorry, Gen Z, this is not an attack on you guys, but it is just an honest assessment.
No, it is definitely
taking the shortcuts.
This is definitely an attack on Gen Z, man. You guys have just been sitting in there, just having it made. All right, let's get on the porch real quick and tell back in my day story for all my Gen Zers out there. I'm an older millennial, so I'm in that sweet spot to where I
know about that.
Yeah, where I can kind of pontificate a little bit on how good you guys had it comparatively to us. And you've had it just right now, right at the snap of a finger. So that's what I think kind of is playing into that whole narrative, Naveen. They're products of their environment. You can't hate on them too much. They've always had every little thing in the digital world at their fingertips throughout their whole life. So that's probably why we're seeing a lot of that. But hey, you come at me with your stacked 99 overall team. I'm still gonna bust your head to the white meat, big dog, with my 84 overall team. So I got you. This old dog's been on them sticks for a long time. So anybody want to get on there? Hey, JRick1580 is my gamer tag. I ain't hard to find. I'm online, PlayStation online. Just add me, and we can make it do what it do. And I'm not above. We want to talk about, we help with sports books and gambling. I'm not scared to run from a little side bet. So I've been hustling people, been fleecing them for a couple $20, 25 spot here or there for the last better part of 20 years, minus the hiatus of college football, but I still get you on Madden. And Andrew Kim has been there to witness me fleece quite a few people over time. So he knows my acumen on the sticks, and he's been a victim of that too. So not to bring up any bad PTSD on your part of getting just smashed on the sticks, Andrew. But there was some good times, especially in high school and college. I mean, I think me and Andrew lived on that game like our freshman year of school when we were roommates. Remember that? That was a good time, man.
Right. And as Josh says, it's a public declaration. If anybody wants to take on Josh, find this gamer tag. And if you don't have the money to buy PS5 and the game, well, you can wait till our next episode for our best bet of the week. and go on, place a little bet, and hopefully turns out we're not promoting irresponsible spending, but sometimes you just gotta know when not to bet, and I would advise not to take on Josh. If you guys wanna save your side
Josh,
bets.
I'm taking all comers
against the fan, dude.
Hey, I would definitely do that. I will take any and all comers.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live stream.
Yeah, I think we should get a Twitch going or something.
Yeah. We can do whatever you guys want to do.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be me that's going to be feeling bad about myself at the end of it.
All right.
Open invitation to any of our listeners or watchers.
Slim Jimmy, you out there? You playing?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Slim Jimmy. Hey, Slim Jimmy, if you're on it, just let me know, and we can arrange something for sure.
All right. Well, that being said, we'll move on to our continued preview series of the SEC schedule to wrap up our football talk. So, Naveen, why don't you go ahead and flash the schedule on the screen for us?
Cool. We got start off with Mississippi State.
Hold on. Time out. We got to make sure that Naveen gives us his take on their website.
Oh, okay. I would say this is a little bit minimalist website compared to the other ones. Less ads going on here. I like that. They're choosing different fonts than everybody else. They kind of know their place. I would say they have nothing about SEC championship game. They have nothing about college football playoff. I would say they're realists down in Starkville. I like that. Not much extra BS going on. So they do have this countdown, which is good. Reminds you how many days till football, guys. There's 40 days till football. For most
that's
of the
amazing.
I don't know how we did it, but we made it, right? 40 days. That's what, like 6 weeks.
I don't know. 40 days, man. That's how long the devil took Jesus out into the desert to tempt him, right? So we'll see. There's going to be a lot of temptation to give in to some evil things, I think, over the next 40 days. So, guys, stay strong, stay in the faith, guard yourself at all costs. College football is coming soon, all right? But 40 days.
Your bankroll. That's right.
The oil didn't the oil last 40 days?
I'm not very familiar. I don't want to offend any of our Jewish listeners. So I don't want to speak something that I'm completely ignorant to or inadvertently offend anybody. But it did burn for a while. It lasted for a while. I think 40 is a common theme. So I'll trust your gut on this, and we'll go with 40 with the oil. So, Shabbat Shalom, all my Jews out there. What up? Love y'all.
All right, we got Eastern Kentucky up first in Starkville. And I want to say that if they don't win this game, they should just go on home. Wait another 365. So, that's all I have to say. You have to win this game.
Listen, man.
You have to do it.
Mississippi State is such a poverty program. I mean, look who they're sponsored by. Who is C Spire? Does anybody know who C Spire is? It's like some whack ass, less than cell phone company. I think it's worse than T-Mobile.
Wow.
It's like cricket. It's like cricket.
It's hard to get service in Mississippi, man.
I'd imagine so. We kind of went in a little bit on Mississippi when we did Ole Miss, but Ole Miss at least has some running water and internet. Down in Starkville, the only thing they got is cowbell, and I don't know. Eastern Kentucky, I think they'll get the job done, but ever since and I hate to beat up on Mississippi State, but they are low hanging fruit, so that's why I don't really appreciate beating up on them too much. Especially after they're still kind of recovering after their coach passing away. Shout out to the Pirate, right? Mm-hmm. My man, Coach Leach. But I think they've kind of right-sized themselves. They got a new coach in place, so let's give them the dub against Eastern Kentucky. So they'll go into that big matchup against Arizona State. For me, I think that's going to be a loss. on the road at Arizona State. Andy, thoughts against the Sun Devils?
Yeah, I agree with you guys both here. Mississippi State, I looked up the over-under 4.5, so that's pretty low. Wins are hard to come by here. I would expect that any like decent FBS school is gonna steamroll them, and they're just gonna collect some wins against the smaller non-P5 or FCS schools and on their schedule. So pretty boring predictions, I guess, so to speak. Not a lot of good upset opportunities or anything like that for them.
And it's a night game at Sun Devil Stadium. That's not a good recipe.
It's going to be 110 or something.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. That place is going to be frothing. You got a SEC school, even though it's kind of a mid one with Mississippi State. There's still SEC school. They're going to be ramped up. All the 80 Pies and the FAMUs and Pikes and SAEs and Kappa Sigs. They're going to be ready for this shit to go down. Everybody knows all the hot chicks go to Arizona State, and it's a huge party school. So they're going to be fucked up on Molly and ready to go.
Okay. Next one we got is
you good to me?
Next one we got is Toledo. And I'm going to earmark this. We don't know the line yet, but this is going over.
You think so?
Personal bet here. Whenever
it's going to be a guaranteed
happens,
lock for you, Naveen.
Whenever it happens, Toledo against Mississippi State.
Okay.
And then we come up on Florida. Andy, any thoughts on this game?
That's the battle of the mids. Yeah, battle of the mids. But I'm gonna give this to Florida. I mean, I'm pretty sure I predicted Florida win this. Back when we reviewed them. So I still have the poster of the Gator running with the football while stepping on one foot on the Georgia Bulldog and the other foot on the Mississippi State Bulldog. And I don't see any other reason why Mississippi State would be able to win. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's SEC, and that's why we play. But at this moment, I'm gonna go with the Chomps.
It is one of those early games, so I don't know who that favors. It might favor the home team there. But yeah, me personally, I think Florida's going to get it done. Billy Napier's life depends on it.
Yeah, one of the early games that he wins before going on a 7-game losing streak.
This is Billy Napier's last win.
Yeah, I think so.
That's his last win as Florida head coach.
Yep. All right. They're traveling to Texas.
Next slide. Texas.
They're gonna get swamped.
Oh,
yeah. Tex, the no longer UT and could have been Universidad Nacional de Mexico is gonna pull that one.
Give me the horns down here. They're gonna take care of business.
Okay, next one. They got Georgia in Athens.
They're gonna get fucking mollywopped by Georgia. Yeah. Not even gonna be a game.
Yeah, it's gonna look like a pit bull biting a French
mortgage on Georgia for me.
Yeah.
Okay, the next matchup also kind of tough matchup, I guess. Texas A&M back in Starkville.
Mexico A&M pulls this one out probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me the agriculture and military guys.
Okay. Then we got Arkansas.
Crank the hog, boys. Let's go.
I mean, I think that's an Arkansas dub. So what is that? 1, 2.
Andy, you cranking the hog down there?
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, so far, what is that? 2 wins?
Yeah, that's 2 wins. I think that's 5 losses in a row.
Right.
And then they get the cupcake.
Yeah, UMass.
3 wins. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we
Uh-oh.
already know it's
Bum,
Tennessee.
bum, bum. This is
Tennessee dub.
the game where Nico pads the stats to
Yeah,
up his
this is going
Heisman
to help his
odds.
Heisman hopes. Absolutely.
He's
Took the words out
gonna
of my
stay
mouth.
until the garbage time and get like 6 touchdowns, kind of like the CJ Stroud way of stat padding.
Yeah.
Nico will get 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. I'm calling it now.
And I'll tell you this, we kind of go back real quick just on this game. I did play the Mississippi State Bulldogs in my dynasty mode, and you play with the real players. So with playing Mississippi State, they're big run heavy on their quarterback. So apparently, I guess their quarterback, big runner, they're going to run the option, run some stuff out of that. So
he might not be there though by the time he's done through that
our
schedule.
our strengths really match up well against that, with our defensive front. So I think it's going to be a long day for Mississippi State against the Vols. So GBO, we get the dub.
Okay. Last 2 games are Missouri at home, Ole Miss on the road. Again, this is a new Egg Bowl, 1 day delayed. So maybe cracked Egg Bowl.
Cracked Egg Bowl.
So Mizzou, I think they have to win this. I mean, Missouri has to win this game.
I think that's one that game will make Missouri bowl eligible.
Okay. And then we got Ole Miss at home at Ole Miss. They're gonna
hotty toddy, boys.
So that's 3-9 here. So
that's about right.
Mississippi.
All right, so
State
I guess there could have been our best bet of the week because under 4.5 here.
Yeah, I think lock that in.
As Josh mentioned, 40 days of temptation. You gotta pick your spots. Don't try to make things up. So please be responsible, guys.
Yeah, but I would go
shop
ahead.
Around on
BetStamp. I'm going to go and look at futures, and I'm on BetStamp, and I'm going to check out what state is, and if they're below 4, I'm taking that.
Yeah, line is 4.5. I think right now is the consensus.
Yeah.
So
I'm pushing some chips in on that one.
Yeah, if you guys have if you guys need to do a lot of like Christmas shopping, like Josh with 3 kids, you might as well, because you're gonna have to set up the budget for it anyway. So you might as well lock that up, under 4.5 wins, and then double your money so that kids can also get their own PS5. That's right. Recommended strategy here, I guess. But up to to each your own. Please bet responsibly.
Okay. Let's go over to Mizzou.
All right. What's the website looking like? Let's take a look.
About as good as their football team. Trash.
So they got some Nike ads here.
Honestly, it's pretty clean.
Nike. Yeah.
It's pretty clean. I would say I like this. One thing that Mississippi State had was this like history button, because I guess they gotta look at the past to like get some joy in their life, because they know they're going fucking 3.
They're trying to look at the series matchup.
Makes our pattern analysis very easy. If they have the head-to-head history right there, that's good info.
Yeah, so if you want some buckboard analysis, Mississippi State is your school. And
Mississippi also has that casino on the boat, on that Mississippi River on the Louisiana border, right? So it kind of makes sense. They're all about that.
Yep. Okay, so back to Missouri. I don't know.
Do they have their conference championship listed on here?
No, they don't. They're being realistic this year. They're sponsored by a bunch of Missouri stuff and
Nike. Master, Nike. Okay.
I wonder they got this graph button, but I'll figure out what that means. They're also doing this text version of the schedule for the tech savvy people out there. But let's start with the games. August 29th. They don't have to wait 39 days. They only got to wait 37 days. So that's an advantage for Missouri starting up.
Yeah, that's the scratch the itch game.
Yeah. So they start out Murray State. mean, if this was basketball, this could have been good. But I think this is a
Yeah, if it was basketball, it definitely would be. Missouri is atrocious at basketball.
yeah.
Interesting. They already have the color schemes all on their website. So they're supposed to wear tiger stripe versus Murray State, wear white versus Buffalo, gold versus BC, and so on. Anyways, so.
But yeah, seems like what Missouri is doing is they're trying to build some
Gimmick
confidence with the schedule.
That's a gimmick.
So the first 4 games at least are really cupcakes. So they start off with Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, and Vandy. So if you do this, it means that the rest of your schedule should be more difficult. But I do think they get to 4-0 by the time they face off against A&M. Should be a decent game. Wear black and gold, 11 a.m. at Texas. Josh, your thoughts here?
So they're going down to College Station to take on the Ags. Give me A&M. Mike Elko making a big splash onto the scene and giving some boosters that are probably thinking, damn, my pockets are really, really low thanks to Jimbo Fisher right now. A little bit of hope of A&M kind of moving forward. So give me A&M. I think Mizzou's going to have a highly inflated ego going into that game, and A&M's going to knock them back down to reality. We got UMass coming in to get, do the JOB, and you guys can either agree or disagree, but I think we all know that Missouri's probably going to win that game.
Yep. So I think it's about 5-1.
5-1 going into Auburn.
All right, Andy, your thoughts? Home, Auburn, 11 a.m. game. Thoughts?
I think they beat Auburn. But that being said, they got a tough road from there on. Their rest of the schedule is brutal.
I'm gonna go the opposite of that, Andrew. I'm gonna go with the Right Reverend taking the damn Auburn Tigers into Columbia and getting the job done, man. I think it's going to snowball from here for Drinkwitz.
Yeah, I also agree with you, Josh. Give me Auburn versus Mizzou. All right, Bama, Oklahoma. So I just think this is one of those games that Bama has to win coming off a loss to Tennessee on the 19th. So this is a big time Bama win.
Row Tide.
Jaden Milroe, 5 combined
touchdowns.
Yeah, he's gonna go. This is gonna go back in the Heisman after this. So Oklahoma, this is an interesting one. Because we don't know, are they real? I think we'll find out next week after we analyze their schedule. But this is a test for Oklahoma.
Renewing a old heated rivalry. I can vividly remember Graham Bell, playing against the Sooners while he was there at Mizzou when he almost won the Heisman himself in Missouri. But things didn't play out. No, excuse me, Graham Bell's at he was at Texas Tech, wasn't he? I think I got that wrong. Yeah. So anyway, but I do remember Missouri being in the mix there in the Big 12. Had my teams mixed up there a little bit, but anyway, renewing a Big 12 rivalry. Almost have Big 10 on my brain for some reason, but Big 12 rivalry here. But to your point, Naveen, I think after we preview Oklahoma's schedule next week, I'll have a better warm and fuzzy about where they're going to be. But I think Boomer Sooners is going to be okay. I think give me the Sooners against Missouri.
Okay, to wrap up the season, we got 3 left. South Carolina at South Carolina. I can't explain it, but South Carolina is going to win.
Okay.
Same.
Are you just saying same just to be agreeable and move on, Andrew?
No, because so Missouri is predicted at 9.5, and I think we've been saying that they're gonna be one of those teams that suffer a lot. It's gonna be, one of those like a situation like the Michigan State from a few years back when they lost Kenneth Walker, and they quickly realized how much of the coaches' perceived success was really just a one player carrying the team.
The coach also started sleeping around with a woman that he asked to come and talk to the team that was married. Well, but anyway, be that as it may, I think you guys are just hedging for Chase, and I get it. Chase is a good friend of the show, and you guys want to take care of him, but until South Carolina does something, they got to prove it to me. Give me Missouri. Fuck South Carolina. Mississippi State, I think we already know. Mizzou over the Bulldogs. And you cranking that hog down there, Andrew? You cranking it?
Yeah, I think Arkansas wins this one because I don't think Missouri is a 9-win team.
Yeah, so
I mean, you cranking the hog, dude?
I'm frying the bacon. I think it's Mizzou. I also want to mention that the South Carolina game is a battle for Columbia. Which one's cooler?
Yeah.
Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia, Missouri. I probably think Columbia, South Carolina is cooler. So
it is by far.
Okay. Never been there. Hope to be there one day.
Not been to either Columbia.
You might be there actually sooner than you think. You come visit me. This time next year, I might be living in Columbia, unfortunately. Amongst
Columbia,
the Gamecocks.
Missouri, or Columbia,
South Carolina. South Carolina. So
We'll
we'll talk more about that offline. But yeah, there's a good chance. Could be down in amongst the hated Gamecocks.
Okay. Yeah, so Mississippi State, they win. And then I think Mizzou wins this game. So I think that puts us
You think Mizzou wins the Arkansas game?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not cranking the hog. Me and Andrew
we're frying the bacon, dude.
me and Andrew's cranking the hog on that one. So woo pig. Yeah, frying the bacon.
Okay, so I think that's 9-3 for me, 8-4 for you guys.
8-4.
8-4. Yep.
So we're going
either
under.
way. It's still under 9.5. Like 9.5 means basically they
Ain't
did
no fucking
everybody.
way they're winning 10 games. There's
Dude,
no
9.5. That if you hit the over, you're going to the playoff.
Yeah, they're not going to the playoff. This last year was a complete and total anomaly or aberration, whatever you want to call it. They got lucky. There was some down teams last year, us being one of them. But Missouri better get down on their fucking hands and knees and thank God above that Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols isn't on that schedule this year. Because if we were, we would probably throw up another 60 spot on that ass.
Okay. Andy, what's our next topic?
All right. Well, moving on to Dalton Knecht. So Summer League is almost concluded, and Dalton Knecht ended up not playing in the 2 of the games, but only in the 3 games that he did play. Showing 20 above 20 points. The stat line speaks for itself. I think 21, 5, and 2. Add a pair of steals per game on very nice shooting percentages. The field goal is a little bit low, but he's jacking up a lot of threes and they're going in. So, I think the Lakers have already seen what they needed to see out of him, which is why they shut him down, in the final game. So I expect that he's going to be a solid piece. I've seen a lot of Twitter, both the Vol Twitter as well as the non-Vol Twitter, just saying nothing but praises. He's actually the highest scoring rookie in the Summer League, above the 16 players that are drafted ahead of him. So I think that really speaks to how immediately ready to contribute. Dalton is really looking forward to some preseason games coming in October. I'm gonna try to see if I can make the flight out to LA at some point and hit up the good old Staples, or now they call it the Crypto Center, and see Dalton Knecht in person rocking the purple and gold. So very excited. But no more basketball, unfortunately, at least for Dalton Knecht until October rolls around. Any other thoughts on that, Josh or Naveen?
I want to stick on basketball, but not on Dalton Knecht. Team USA. What's
fuck
happening?
Team USA, man. They about got beat by South Sudan. Let's save that shit for after we talk about something that's good, and that's Dalton Knecht. Okay, so DK, man, phenomenal job in the summer league. I think he really cemented himself as a someone that's going to contribute to LA when the season starts. I know I brought this up on our last show, but I think he's really worked himself into a player of high value for the franchise. I think you guys kind of scoffed at the idea that he would get big time minutes when the season rolls around, but I think the more we see from this kid, the more relevant he's making himself to be a potential contributor. So Naveen, before we get on, South Sudan nearly taking us down to the depths of Team USA 04. Talk to me about your thoughts. You think DK's got a chance? I know you're not a Lakers fan, but they're your cousins out in the Western Conference there, to your T-Wolves. So do you think DK has a chance to be a big time contributor when the season rolls around?
To quote like one of my favorite places and dealers at one of my favorite casinos, chip in a chair, you got a chance, right? So I think Dalton Knecht, he took that attitude from northern Colorado to Tennessee. Rick Barnes gave him the chip and the chair. He had a chance to do well, and he elevated himself. Now he's getting drafted again, summer league. He's like, oh shit, I got to play against like scrubs. He's fucking cooking them. And it just goes to show, like, you just need one opportunity to tie it back to Eminem, right? One shot, one opportunity, and he's hitting all of them. Right. He's hitting all of them, and it's inspiring, right? Just a white guy from, I guess, where is he from? Colorado. So yeah, he's crushing. I hope to see him in the NBA, crushing similarly. And yeah, I'd like to see him live in purple and gold. Maybe not for summer league, Andy, but if they play someone else.
You wanna? I mean, like when they come to
go out and go see the PNG and crypto. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, LA would be nice, or even when he comes around to Brooklyn or MSG, we could go see him.
I would prefer to see him in New York. LA's kind of a fucking dump.
Yeah,
but LA's got some good ass food, so I'm kind of, that's like the only reason I would want to go to LA is to hit up some of the spots that I've been dying to go to for the last 2 years.
Give me that chicken over in Bergen County, New Jersey. I'm good, man.
Oh, the Peck. So LA actually has this chicken that I think is the goat tier chicken. Sort of off topic, but for all our listeners out there, this is how much I love you. I'm giving you the the spot. It's called the Goltong chicken, Goltong. It's not a franchise.
We'll put that in the caption so you guys know.
Yeah, it's so it is called Goltong chicken, and it is something that I've recommended to a lot of my friends, and I've not heard anything lower than 9.9. Even on Yelp reviews, I think it's got like a 3,000 or some absurd number of reviews, and average rating is like 4.9. It is just glorious. Google has 4.8 and 750 reviews. Yelp has 4.9 and 3,000 reviews. But you don't need to listen to any of those reviews. You just need to listen to me. And this is, someone that's from Korea and someone who's also spent childhood in the South. So I consider myself pretty well knowledged in the fried chicken space. And this is the GOAT tier. This is this is the Messi Ronaldo tier of chicken. So that's why I would want to go see Dalton. Also at home, because I want to see how the crowd sort of feeds off of Dalton Knecht 3, kind of like how the Chase Center used to go crazy after like a Curry and Clay splashing the threes, and I want to see that. So
okay, fair enough. Andy not willing to make the 2.5-minute walk to MSG.
I know, right?
But that being said, we will go to
the
Dalton
country to see him play.
I mean, I will see him play in Brooklyn and at MSG, but I also do plan on going. Hopefully, if I can make the opener, I want to go just for the hype. So
Andrew,
that's
just
my goal.
In the future, because I know what this is stemming from. In the future, just save us all of that and just say, I'm going to fly to LA so I can eat Goltong chicken. And then I might catch Dalton Knecht while he's playing.
Dalton.
We know the real reason you're going is for the chicken.
Well, fried chicken and Dalton Knecht. So that's
okay.
I also want to check out the Kobe statue because I haven't seen the statue in person. So
I mean that would be a that would be a tempting venture right there for myself. So I won't completely write that idea off, but Naveen's chicken spot over in New Jersey, man, and we gotta get sponsored by those guys, man. Like that place.
What up, Brian?
And I know we're kind of going down a rabbit hole here, but yeah, I can't help myself bringing that place up. I daydream about it every single day.
Maybe we'll start adding a chicken review per episode going forward. Just kind of like
numbers,
doing a Dave Portnoy style chicken review. So we could maybe add that. But Goltong and Pek, I doubt this is gonna reach you guys, but in case it does, we're open for partnerships. So just hit us up.
Add it to the caption. Hashtag Goltong and Pek. Make sure that's in the caption when we post this to the tube. Okay, guys?
Yeah, but Goltong chicken in LA for those ever dialing in or listening to our show, and Pek chicken for those in the New York City / New Jersey area. Pek chicken is where it's at. Okay. All right, moving on to the other football. So the Euros and the Copa America all concluded on the same day. What a glorious day it was, for sports. And I want to get your thoughts first with you, Naveen. As someone who was singing the "Football Is Coming Home" song, and someone who's experienced that peak hope and that peak enthusiasm. It's like you basically experience the highest of the high of the English football fandom when you were there. So walk me through it. What did you think of the results? Obviously we crushed our predictions there, although
Spanish Armada, baby.
The Lucky Top endorsed the Armada Invincible, but our official pick was the over, but which still also ended up hitting over 2. But let me hear your thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think that England did. So they basically did what they usually do in major tournaments. Go down 0-1,
never coming back.
Yeah, go down 0-1, come back 1-1, like hope building again, and then punt it off. I want to say that Spain was the best team in the tournament, like in terms of sharing the ball. They were like mid 2000s Spurs out there, and England was, I don't know, some kind of weird Clippers like BS kind of situation.
Never accomplishing anything. I mean, it sounds just about the same, actually.
They have, all the stars that you can want at the same time. Doesn't really matter. They can't pull it together because they got no unity. They don't know how to play with each other.
And, I mean, that's why they lost India, and that's why they lost America. That's just what they've become now. Unfortunately, just responsible for all the Independence Days around the world, and no trophies in any major tournaments.
Damn, that's wild, Andy.
We just had July 4th, so I'm a little bit on the the red, white, and blue.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to say than that. The best team won. It was easy, never in doubt. Spain, big time lock, big time win for Locky Top and the boys. Yep. Let's switch gears to this side of the globe, Copa America
hemisphere. There you go.
This hemisphere took place in Miami, and a lot of chaos in the game.
Hey. What a shit show!
Andy,
imagine Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, you guys been there, or at least Josh and I have been. Beautiful area. But obviously the infrastructure is not up to par. I could just imagine how that the massive crowd plus the just like very excited, passionate fan base under the heat, 95 and humid, and just a chaos, right? Like you guys seen the videos of barricades collapsing, people crawling through air ducts, these people who paid for tickets get to their seats, and they're just a bunch of people there that are already, and their security is not doing jack shit. And as we talked about on our last show, we have already warned you that there are some like Colombian drug lords out there watching Copa America, so you don't know who you're gonna be talking shit to. Like what if that guy is like a cousin of the
real Noriega?
Yeah, I mean, hey, like all the jokes aside, like it's a seriously unfortunate situation, and honestly, makes me wonder if we're really ready for hosting the World Cup. Like it's not good for not only for the fans, but also safety of the players, and ultimately the reputation of of the
America
country too. Yeah. Like as can we have a civilized?
Can we host? That's right.
The World Cup final taking place
at Stadium, baby.
Yeah, 10 miles from Andy, 50 miles from me. Close.
450 miles from me.
Yep. Who knows where you'd be 2026, Josh? Where in the world is Josh?
2026, probably not here. But
yeah, I mean, it's really a shame because there were a lot of people who had tickets who couldn't get in. And these are not normal price tickets. These are kind of like once in a lifetime tickets. We're talking like $10,000 plus tickets in some cases. I just imagine putting myself in that shoe. Like I just bought the Tennessee Alabama tickets. Like what if every single person that tailgated just
ran into the fucking stadium.
Yeah, and I couldn't get in with my fucking tickets. I'd be so tilted. I don't even know what I would do. I would be so mad. I don't know. I don't even know. Not responsible for myself at that point in time. Like if that I'm trying to go to this World Cup final. If that fucking happens to me in this, it's gonna be a big problem.
If that happened to us, if we went to Tennessee, Alabama this year, there might not be a Locky Top anymore. It might be a locked up top. As all be in jail. Like we're gonna raise hell.
But I'll tell you, we would be rolling so deep because we're rolling with a deep crew. It would be a big problem for somebody. Somebody be getting lumped up, and we're not trying to project. We're that guy. We're not trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, but we do have numbers on our side, so we would have to definitely tell some people to vacate the premises or else.
Yeah, I mean,
I ain't playing that. I'm paying. I already know what you paid for your tickets, and I'll be paying the same for that Alabama Tennessee game. If I rolled up to my seats and somebody had already fucking blew up my spot, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, why are you in my seats? Like, you gotta go. You can't blow up the spot like that. You're not gonna kill my vibes. Vibes were probably really strong. Argentina and Colombia. I mean, think about all the hot chicks that were there for that game too, man. Like just spot blown completely up. You're there. You're trying to
all the
do your thing.
influencers.
Yeah, and then like you're out there flexing. You got some good seats. You get on there, and then boom, there's 15 illegals in your fucking row. Just they crawl through the fucking air conditioning ducts and everything, and there you are. Now you're super tilted, and security's not even going to let you in your seats.
So
one thing for sure can't happen is Italy making the final at MetLife Stadium, just given the Italian associated population in New Jersey. That's going to be a shit show. So maybe, our best hope is just hoping that Italy doesn't advance. And
hey, look, man, I think Uncle T will have that shit. So, ran in such a concise, smooth way. He'll have the whole mob in on it, and it'll be nothing like we saw down in Miami. Yeah, I mean, mob hands can get muddy, but they keep the customer, the paying customer, happy.
So interesting thing is that Colombia and Miami police use facial recognition. They've identified 7,000 people that snuck in, and they're going to be retroactively prosecuted.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, props.
All right.
Props to Miami
some
for
justice there.
figuring that out.
Here. It might be Judge Judy justice, but damn it, justice is going to be served.
Yeah. You can't replace the thousands of dollars that people lost out on.
I mean, that's gonna be on the credit card companies, right? Like, I feel bad for the Amexes, the Visas, the Mastercards, the Chases, and the Citi and the Bank of Americas of the world having to deal with angry. Press one for English, press 5, for
Espanol.
Everybody's gonna be smashing that button. So I feel bad for them. I mean, it's not their fault, but probably I'm sure there are still some customers fighting and arguing with the reps, trying to dispute the charges for Ticketmaster. So unfortunate situation.
We all know those ticket agencies are sharks anyway, right? With their fucking jacked up prices and fees and stuff. Talking about that, I was trying to get some tickets to see Morgan Wallen one night at a time there in Neyland Stadium. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I have to sell all the bone marrow in my body to science and a kidney to be able to afford those tickets. I mean,
what cost more, the Bama game or the Morgan Wallen?
Morgan Wallen. Oh, not even close. Bama game is like 30% of the price of Morgan Wallen ticket.
So we talking four digits?
Yeah, 4 digits, big dog. 4 digits.
Wow. Morgan Wallen might be might have you
it's the hardest
exploring
it's the hardest ticket to get,
time,
man.
Josh.
Yeah, it's the hardest ticket to get.
You gotta be grinding those bets.
Yeah, so it was going to be the Sunday after the Oklahoma game. So it sold out so fast, and tickets were in such high demand, which drove prices. Right, they opened up the Friday night. So the Friday night before the Oklahoma game, which is an away game, and then Sunday
they're doing it at the stadium, right? Yeah.
They're doing it both at Neyland. So insane ticket prices. But to your point, though, Andrew, about the banks, we all three know that that's really the driver there. It's the money thing. It's not the principle of those damn people being in your seat when they shouldn't be. It's that all those credit card companies are losing money. That's what's driving the outrage. That's why people are retroactively getting charged with these crimes, right?
So somebody's gotta, unfortunately, if there's no dollar value assigned, police or no one's gonna do
money makes
investigative
the world
work. Right. Facial recognition. Are you kidding me? Like, how much shit is that gonna cost?
I love it.
So so hopefully we'll have our shit together by 2026. And good thing about MetLife, it's kind of isolated in the swamp. There's only so many ways you can get there. Taking the train. The parking lot is kind of like, I mean, it's right by the turnpike, but they're very like it's not as like easily, in my opinion, penetratable like the Miami. So hopefully
penetrate. That's a good way to.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe that chaos. But that being said, honestly, as a bystander, I was just thinking to myself, like, if I'm at the stadium, even if I have my seats, like, how much money am I spending on alcohol, or like if you brought your kids, like,
Hotel, flight, all
yeah,
that shit too, right? It's
like
not
all
just
got
getting
delayed
paid.
for like an hour and a half. Like, like what do you do? Like, your
Dude.
your kids crying, like, because like shit isn't starting, place it's getting rowdy, and you're
You
just
probably
spending
can't
like,
get out of there either.
yeah, you're
Probably
spending
took
like
like 2 hours.
$20 to go buy a bottle of water and Coke, and you're doing that every 30 minutes. So it's just an unfortunate situation. All right, so a couple more topics to talk about, and we'll wrap. So Wimbledon. Speaking of the events that took place, again, halfway across the world, but what a surprising turn of events, and we will, admit we were wrong about how that played out. There were some incredible moments from Novak. Namely the three championship points on that last game, where he successfully came back from 40 love and ultimately forced the tiebreaker. So that kind of had that flashback from 2019 Wimbledon. Gotta give it up to him. He's incredibly clutch, especially on the return. My God, this guy is got the fighting spirit, and then you could almost like kind of see there. Obviously, the result was lopsided 3-0, but from that display, I think you could kind of see how far that Alcaraz's level right now is from like the prime Djokovic or Nadal or Federer. Because if 30-something-year-old Djokovic that just had a knee surgery a month ago can still have those moments against Alcaraz, right? So maybe that's like hard to argue, like who's actually the greatest. But I think what could be argued is that his path to GOAT looks very, very, very easy. It's almost like Peyton had to battle, the Tom Brady's, or rather Tom Brady had to battle, Peyton and Drew Brees and other incredibly talented quarterbacks.
Are you saying Tom Brady's the GOAT?
Yes. I don't think that's like really arguable at this point.
We can argue this some other time.
Yeah, I don't think it's really arguable, but we can make a special segment before the NFL kickoff. But I think the general public will pick Tom Brady probably 9 out of 10 times, and I think in tennis, people, it's like the sport where it's got a lot of division. It's not as clear cut like the other sports. Like we have the team Federer, we have the team Djokovic, team Nadal, although Djokovic looks like he has a clear case. But Alcaraz, at the rate he's going, and then looking at his competition, which is very, 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 very weak, it looks like he's just going to win like 2-3 slams a year for a foreseeable future. So arguably, his path to increasing that slam count looks relatively easy compared to someone like Federer or Nadal or Djokovic. What are your thoughts there, Naveen?
Yeah, I think it's less dense of a competitive arena for him. I think that the only one you can really argue that will give him a decent fight would be Sinner, and I just don't think Sinner's at the level right now to do that for half the slams. Maybe one slam, as you said, maybe like Aussie or something like that will be Sinner's bread and butter, but it's also possible that he can play in any surface, man. Like I really think that Alcaraz doesn't have, one surface that's super, super locked for him. I mean,
he's looking like a young Federer, just crushing everywhere.
Yeah. So, exciting to see, but I want to know who's next. There's nobody really in the pipeline that I can see that's going to challenge him. And I hope
no Ben Shelton.
He's gonna have to take his chomp ass elsewhere. I don't think he's got it.
Dang.
He's Josh. You don't know that he's a big Florida Gator, so
okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it. All right. So, Josh, I think we got the last topic here, which is Xander Schauffele winning the British Open. He's got 2 majors this year, the PGA and the British Open. Scotty Scheffler's got the Masters and the overall 1 rank. Who's better right now? Who would you want?
Yeah, so for me, it's still got to be Scotty Scheffler, and that's probably just because he's my dude. But he, objectively, I think the Masters tournament is a harder tournament to win than either the British or the PGA tournament. So for me, his performance coupled with throughout other majors and other tournaments this year, coupled with his Masters win, is what really does it for me. And he's kind of endeared himself to me after the whole thing in Louisville. I mean, let's be honest. Xander probably got the PGA just because those fucking cops really messed with Scotty. So, all things being equal, I still give a slight nod to Scotty, and that's not taking anything away from Xander. Xander's playing. He's really tuned in. He's playing great golf. I think it's a great year for golf fans. We've seen a lot of good golf played by a lot of different people. We don't have one specific person just dominating. So we're seeing, from tournament to tournament, a lot of parity within the tour this year. So that's something that I really enjoy. But there's no debate. Scotty Scheffler's the world's number 1 player.
Andy, same question. Who's number 1?
I tend to think of it, and I think this is just me, watching tennis and that mentality. It's like I don't care who the world number 1 is, if it's Zverev or whoever. If you can't win the damn majors, what good is that? And for that reason, give me the year Xander is having. I'm not saying who the better golfer is. I think Scotty still has the higher ceiling and overall more consistent performances. Like we all remember when Scotty was basically winning back to back tournaments, like the Players Championship, Masters, and so on. But Arnold Palmer. But that being said, if I'm a golfer, give me 2 major wins in a year rather than 1 Masters. I think at the end of the day, majors are what matters. And I do agree that Masters is the most prestigious one. I don't know about the hardest one necessarily. I think US Open is always just generally harder when you look at the scores and the average score to par compared to any other.
Sure.
PGA is the easiest one.
I would agree with you there, Andrew. I'm saying out of the 3 that we're seeing here, Masters, PGA, and British, Masters is by far harder than those other 2.
Yeah, and 100% agreed there. British Open is tough, but I feel like there's a lot of luck involved also. If you just kind of play when there's not a lot of wind, and we saw Scotty having to hit a 3-wood for this part 3 when everybody else who played in the morning were hitting 6 irons because there was no wind. So there's a lot of luck involved, but at the end of the day, if you ask any golfer, 2 majors or 1 plus number 1 ranking. I mean, it being Masters make it difficult because it's almost asking any tennis players, would you rather win 2, say a US Open and a French Open, or win the Wimbledon and be number 1? I think the answer would be split. So interesting debate, but Xander's having a phenomenal year. So I thought I'd bring this topic. I'm sure a lot of folks watching are also, as Josh mentioned, pretty excited about the game where it's headed right now. Speaking of golf, I think tomorrow Naveen's favorite golfer, Bryson, is dropping a new video on the channel where he and
let's go.
President Trump goes on a break 50 doing a scramble game. So if any of you guys are interested, you can go check out Donald's swing, which would be pretty fun also, just to kind of see.
I would be remiss not to get too political, but I always like to get a little political. I think it's really sad. I think today the news broke that President Biden will not be seeking re-election. So I think that means that the Trump-Biden golf tournament will, not happen now. Is that a safe bet?
That not happening?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's such a
Yeah.
shame. I was really bummed. Like, that was my biggest takeaway when I saw the big announcement from Joe's Twitter feed that he was dropping out. Is I guess that means no Trump Joe golf tournament, and I was really sad about that. But a lot of things have been shifting in the not just the political sphere and in geopolitics across the world. A lot of things are changing. But one thing that doesn't change, and that's the greatness that you get from Locky Top Sports on our week to week and here currently kind of bi-weekly episodes, just due to the sports calendar. But we are going to crank it up. The closer, we mentioned it earlier, we're within 40 days. So, guys, it's almost here. Just hang tight, and it'll be like, kids on Christmas morning, just that first probably FCS game or whatever's on ESPNU on that Thursday night that we get to see.
Missouri,
it'll be
remember?
Great.
It's Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. There you go, Missouri. So,
Thursday night.
Again, an FCS equivalent team. So, but we will continue to bring, all of those shows, content. One of the biggest things I do want to say before we close it out is I want to thank all of our viewers. We did reach over the 10,000 view milestone this past week. So shout out to all of you folks out there listening to us. I would ask that, you do a little bit more than just listen, comment, post. If you like what we're talking about, let us know. If you don't, let us know. We're always trying to seek different ways of communication to our listeners and our fan base. So we love all of you. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're excited about what the football season has to bring, and what we'll be able to provide you content wise. So we have a lot of things coming up. We'll share those a little bit more. I would ask you to also go to our signupexpert.com, /Lucky Top Sports, to make all of your gambling picks. So with that, I want to say thanks again, guys, for watching. We love the fact that we can continue to do this. So the more feedback that we get from you guys, the more content we can provide. So with that, I will say it's been great tonight. Andrew, Josh, Naveen, for Lucky Top Sports. We'll see you the next time.
Go Vols.